peanuts. Maestro here. Welcome to the Con's Court. Today I am doing the full and complete review of the movie. Like I said, it will be mullet style, which means spoiler free in the front and spoils in the back. So that is what I will be doing today. As you can see, I put up my new poster I got from the movie up there on the wall for me to go ahead and do this. I'm super excited to do this. Starting off the spoiler-free review, I'll do the spoiler-free review for maybe about like a minute or two, just because without talking about spoilers, there's not much to get into. So let's go ahead and get this started. This movie, just the way it started off, was absolutely phenomenal. I don't think they could have started off much better. Sometimes the pacing of the beginning, you know, it got a little confusing at first because you were very confused on where the movie was going to go. But it really, really, really ended up falling onto place like puzzle pieces, like everything pieced together perfectly. And the movie's pace, I think, was chaotic enough and well placed enough that it is perfect for a Deadpool movie. I don't have a singular bad thing to say about this movie. Everything about this movie was perfect. I absolutely adore and love this movie. Literally, me and my fiance today have been looking at stuff online to get Deadpool and Wolverine Ys to have in our collections that we have, between props and action figures and everything else that we have, to add to that for the movie. We're super excited to get stuff like that for the movie. And like I said, I even got a poster that I put up in my own home just to make sure I had something. Because this movie is worth that. It's worth having something up in your house to put up to show that you've seen the movie and that you love that, because this movie's amazing. Without any spoils or anything, I'm telling you, this movie is absolutely amazing. The acting is awesome. The fourth wall breaking is perfectly balanced in the movie. All the different cameos, man. Oh my gosh. Perfect cameos. They weren't too overly crazy, but they weren't like useless characters that you couldn't care about. And if they were characters that you didn't think too much about most of the time when it came to Marvel, they put those characters in there and they made them badass. This movie is badass to the letter. Every single part of this movie. Oh my God. This movie had me standing up at the end and clapping a little bit. This movie had me laughing. This movie had me, I was just having the best time of my life with this movie. This movie was absolutely amazing. I can't even express to you how amazing this movie is. And I know some people, you know, feel odd about fan service when it comes to movies and stuff, but dude, this movie is fan service in a wrapped up present and thrown at you. It is the best comic book movie ever. Like, if you've read the comics, I'm telling you, this movie will be perfect for you. Everything about this movie screams comics to me. Between the wall breaking and the multiversal stuff and just everything. The time and just all the different stuff that they have, all the different costumes. This movie is insane. Me and my fiance both had to pee so bad, but we were willing to risk blowing up to smithereens in our seats because we were not risking missing a single little frame of this movie because of how amazing it was already. And I was about to die by the end of the movie, and I still stayed until the end of the credits to make sure I got every single in-credit scene and everything. And once that happened, I raced to the bathroom. But I'm telling you, this is a movie that you're not even going to want to use the restroom for. You're not even going to want to go refill your popcorn bucket or go get a refill on your drink for. This is a movie that once you're in the seat and the movie starts, you are in the Deadpool universe the whole 2 hours and however many minutes. But there's my spoiler-free review. Well, I'll go ahead and give it a rating. I already did on a short little video last night. This is a 10, 11, 12, whatever you want to call it, a 69 out of 10. This is the perfect, hilarious Marvel movie. And for Deadpool, it's great. This is above a 10 in my head. But if I was to rate it on singularly 1 through 10 on a 10 scale, it's a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 Marvel movie. This is up there with, I keep on wanting to say it's the best Marvel movie ever, but then I feel bad because you've got stuff like Endgame where Iron Man, dies sacrificing himself to save the universe and kill Thanos and having all the Avengers together. Stuff like that I feel like is on the same level. So I can't exactly say that this movie is number one, but it damn sure is close. Damn sure is close. I mean, it's so close it almost completely gets on top of Marvel Mountain. I mean, they could not have done much better with this. This was insane. Now, like I said, mullet style. This is mullet time. We're getting to the mullet. This is spoil time. So if you do not want to be spoiled, I warn you now to leave the video, go watch the movie, and come back and watch this next part of the video. Because I'm getting into the spoils and I'm getting into them immediately. So here's your warning. See ya. All right. Everybody who's here for the spoils. Holy fucking shit. The cameos. We had Wesley Snipes' Blade. We had Elektra. We even had Channing Tatum as Gambit. Oh my God, that is the most perfect version of Gambit I have ever seen in my life. At first, I cracked up seeing him playing as Gambit. And then he started talking a little bit more, and we started actually getting to understand his character a little more. And he would try to be menacing, but you could tell it was too funny of a situation for him to be menacing. And then you saw him fight, and holy shit, that dude is menacing as hell. They made his character, although it's kind of a funny idea, although it's kind of funny that he's been in multiple different movies as like a little funny cameo and stuff like that. Dude, holy Jesus. He was badass. That is the best Gambit I've ever seen, other than X-Men 97. But that's an animated show. This is the best live-action Gambit ever. This beats Origins easily. The powers looked comic accurate. His suit looked comic accurate. He actually fit the suit very well. His stuntman or whoever it was fucking lit, dude. Spinning around, doing flips, taking people out super quick. His pole was lighting up purple as he slammed it on the ground, taking people out. He blowing people up with his playing cards. And the accent and stuff, although, yeah, it was a little goofy, and Deadpool even says something about it. That is the best Gambit. I'm sorry. 10 out of 10 character right there. Came out of nowhere. I don't even remember anybody saying, that actor would be really good as Gambit. I don't even remember that. I think Deadpool just did it, and he somehow made the best Gambit ever. I had no... It's like a Robert Pattinson as Batman type moment, or like a Michael Keaton as Batman, or something like that, where people are just like, I don't know if they'll be a good superhero for that character. I don't know if, and then they turn out to be like the 10 out of 10 character. That's how I felt about Gambit. Wesley Snipes' Blade, holy shit, also badass. They brought that badassery back from the 90s, and dude, slammed that shit into this movie. Awesome. That dude was cooking it up with those blades. Elektra came in badass, female fatale, came back again, like I said, from that time period, from like Daredevil and all that stuff with Ben Affleck, and she came in and was kicking ass too. Oh my God, dude. This movie made me love those characters even more. Even more. And I'm hoping Deadpool's wish to make them, be remembered again. Because Deadpool even says it. I hope they're remembered again. I hope that we can you please help my friends? So hopefully they get to be in the MCU, at least having one more movie or one more show or appearance in the MCU to help them out with that. Because I really don't want to see those characters to go. After I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't want those characters to go. I want to see more of them. I want to see Elektra more. I want to see Daredevil. He wasn't in the movie, but I want to see Daredevil too. I want to see, characters like Punisher and Blade and Gambit. I want to see those characters more now. We get to see X-23, like I thought. It makes sense. I had made a couple of guesses of who could be in this movie, and literally all of them were right. Colossus was in here, obviously. Juggernaut from the original X-Men was in here. I was correct about that. He was in here, and he was awesome too. But he got absolutely decapitated by X-23, and that was a dope fight too. And he was actually a main part of the story, the Juggernaut was, because they used his helmet and put it onto the chick. God, I forgot her name. I want to say it's like Anissa or something like that. Xavier's sister. She's one of the main villains, other than Paradox. And man, dude, his helmet was used to put on her head to stop her powers so that they could kill her. And they decided not to do that because Wolverine even said, Xavier would not have wanted me to do this. He thought I was a hero, and whether or not I am does not matter. I will not kill you because you're his sibling. Had he known you were alive, he said, I would have seen Charles tear a hole through the universe to come back and find you if he knew that you existed. And it's true. I mean, if you really think about Xavier's character, he would have went across the entire multiverse to make sure that he could find her. And he always found the best in every one of his X-Men. And a lot of the X-Men did not look like they should be in a group of superheroes, but they turned out to be. And he made them heroes that were not originally thought to be. Nightcrawler, for example. I mean, nobody thought this demon-looking kid that's running around doing all this crazy junk could become a superhero. And look, part of the X-Men. Wolverine, part of the X-Men. But that's what I'm saying. Just Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, the other director, all of these people, they followed so perfectly to the characters of Marvel. I mean, every character that was in this movie, they did perfect with. It's almost like they took the character right out of the comics. They took their character arcs, their story, everything, took it right out of the comics, set it in the Deadpool movie, and we got to see the characters that we've so long wanted. And other characters that did not appear were talked upon with such high praise, such as Charles and what Wolverine said. It was just perfect. I mean, it was perfect. Other cameos I was right about. Dude, the fucking Hulk. The Hulk. Holy shit. For a minute in my mind, I thought they were going to actually show us a full, good, decent sized fight between Hulk and Wolverine because we've been wanting it for so long. But they did it. They did it. Man, they didn't do it. And that's the only thing I could possibly say I was a little bit upset about, but maybe they'll have it in the future. Maybe it's like a little tease of it and they'll show it in the future. But the Wolverine and Hulk fought and it looked cool. They even had Wolverine do that with his claws where he twists his hand and you could see Hulk in the reflection of his claws. And then he back smacks Deadpool through a bunch of trees. Dude, I would have paid even more money. I would have paid the same amount of money that I paid for me and my fiance's tickets to go see a version of that movie where the Hulk fights Wolverine. That would have been the coolest fight ever. But I was right. The Hulk showed up. What's other crazy cameos that showed up? Holy shit. Johnny Storm. They got Chris Evans in the movie. That was awesome to see Chris Evans back, but to see him as Johnny Storm was even cooler. And it was funny when he first comes out, you had Deadpool freaking out thinking it was Captain America, and I did too. I'm not even gonna lie, I thought it was Captain America because the hand wraps were red, white, and then his suit was blue. So I was like, oh, maybe this is like a end of the world version of Captain America. And then you had Deadpool saying, he's gonna say it, Avengers Assemble, and then flame on! And he goes up in the sky, and you saw the Human Torch. And I kind of noticed right near that point, I looked at the top of his suit, and I said, that's a black rim with a blue. That's the Fantastic Four suit. And my fiance sitting next to me, she's like, what? And then you heard flame on and saw him shoot up into the sky, and she's like, oh, it's him as Johnny Storm from the original Fantastic Four. I was like, yeah, that's so cool. But man, dude, it was so cool. It was the dopest movie ever. They just kept on bringing more cool ass cameos in. Henry Cavill as Wolverine, working on a motorcycle, ripped as hell. This dude was ripped, jacked. He literally goes and punches Deadpool and punches him so hard that he goes through like a thick, like 4 to 5 foot, straight concrete pillar. Sends him right through it, and he gets sent into like another universe, which I believe is the universe that the Wolverine came from the main Wolverine in the movie. Dogpool, absolutely love Dogpool. Dogpool is the hype. Dogpool was so funny. I loved, that dog is ugly as hell, but they made him super cute in this movie somehow. Him running up to Deadpool every time and Deadpool being like, all is right with the world, while he goes and grabs the dog. It was the funniest shit. I fell in love with the dog as it continued going on. Dogpool was awesome. And then Deadpool actually killing the nice pool so that he could get the dog. That was funny too. I knew he was going to kill him for that dog. Dude, I knew he was going to kill him for that dog. I was like, it's only a matter of time before Deadpool or Nice Pool gets murdered for that dog and for the 2 golden guns. Because in the trailer, we saw him with the golden guns, and I'm like, oh, as I saw that, I was like, oh, he's going to kill him some point. I know he is, because in the trailer, we saw him with the gold guns. Wolverine's comic accurate Wolverine suit, Hugh Jackman's suit, and he flips up the cowl. Holy shit, it felt like a Batman moment. And Deadpool even makes a joke about it when he's interrogating Paradox. He says, it's menacing, isn't it? It's almost like Batman, but he can move his neck. And it's exactly what I was thinking in my head. Oh my God, that mask was perfect. That was the perfect comic accurate Wolverine mask. And when he was talking to Deadpool in the mask, I was like, dude, they're not even trying to do like face screen time. They're not even worried about that. In this movie, they could care less about people's faces having screen time as actors. They're just keeping the masks on. And even in the end part of the movie, when they're sacrificing themselves to save the multiverse from, I'm probably saying the wrong name. I keep on wanting to say Anissa. I don't know what her real name is. I can't remember. I just keep on saying Professor X's sister. I keep forgetting her name. Bald Bitch. That's what we're going to call her. We're going to call her Bald Bitch. When they were fighting against Bald Bitch and sacrificing themselves, and he sticks his claws into the one matter machine, and Deadpool's grabbing a hold of the antimatter machine, and they lock hands, and then it blows up their suits, and you see everything stay on Hugh Jackman's suit but his shirt and his rippling like muscles as he's holding on to it. And I'm trying to think. What was I going to say? Oh, the mask. Oh my God, the mask stayed on. The mask stayed on. That's one thing about superhero movies that I love is when they keep the masks on. Because 9 times out of 10 in the comics, you almost never see the character without their mask. Like Spider-Man. Every Spider-Man movie, you see them so that you could see their face. And I'm just like, dude, Spider-Man is not going to be fighting a villain all the time without his mask. That's the one thing he tries to keep on his face. So I love that they actually kept the mask on him, and he kept it on until near the actual end of the movie. Cassandra, that's what it is. Cassandra. I remembered her name now. I kept on wanting to say Anissa. I don't know why. Cassandra. Cassandra is the name of Professor Xavier's sister, who's the main villain. And Cassandra was just, dude, she was crazy powerful. Much more powerful than Charles Xavier is physically. Because her powers involve her having to be, physically, like, getting, like she said in the movie, I have to get my hands dirty, unlike my brother. So she actually has to touch you. Get into your face. And do all the junk she was doing, all that crazy like skin rippling thing. She was getting up into Deadpool's face and getting up into Paradox's face and grabbing him by the inside of his head and like pulling him around and stuff. It was the nastiest stuff, dude. It was like horror movie type of like, dude, she was up in your mouth and coming out your nose. Dude, and then Johnny, she quite literally just strips all of his skin, meat, and everything off of his body and leaves his organs and leaves his skeleton, and they all just plop to the ground. Just nasty as shit. And it was quick as hell, too. It was like her going like that. Rips his skin right off. Craziest shit I've ever seen. And they even make you think that Deadpool was lying about everything Johnny Storm was saying. In the end credit scene, no. There's a recording that Deadpool shows you where Johnny Storm is sitting there talking all that mad shit about Cassandra. And yeah, he did. So he died correctly. He should have died because of all the crazy shit he said about her. Deadpool wasn't lying, even though we thought he was, because that's his character. It was a cool plot twist. It was funny. I'm trying to think. Oh man, what else? There was just so many cool things. Man, Alioth. We got to see Alioth from Loki. I was surprised we didn't actually get to see Loki, but I guess it makes sense because Loki's up there at the end of time, and he's holding all the branches of the multiverse together. So that definitely makes sense. Why we did not see Loki. As cool as it would have been to see Loki, or Loki like save Logan and Deadpool coming down as that like ultimate powered Asgardian god of time coming down and like stopping Cassandra and Paradox as like the ultimate guardian of the timelines. Like that would have been cool to see. But it makes sense as to why he just stayed on his throne. Dude, this was the best movie ever. I mean, this was so good. All the different Wolverine cameo, like different alternate versions too. We had the Apocalypse Wolverine from Age of Apocalypse. So he didn't have his hand. His hand was cut off and he had the like blaster or whatever. So there was that Wolverine, which he was dope and savage as hell. We had comic accurate Wolverine, height-wise. So we had this little 5'2" Hugh Jackman walking around, which was hilarious. At the beginning of him going around looking for different Wolverines. We had Wolverine, I think it's like Age of X-Men or something, but he's like up on an X, like he's crucified. He's got stakes in his hands. And a bunch of red, bloody skulls all over the place. I couldn't remember who that Wolverine was until after the movie. I looked it up and I think it's like Age of X-Men or something like that, Wolverine. But that was cool. I mean, it actually taught me another version of Wolverine I didn't know. I'm trying to think. What was the other Wolverines they had? Like I said, Henry Cavill. What other Wolverines? I could have swore there was another Wolverine. Oh, Patch. The one with the eye patch. I can't remember his actual name, but him, and then Greyhawk. Joe Fixit. They didn't show Joe Fixit, but they definitely did show Patch. I believe his name's Patch because of the eye patch. They showed that version of Wolverine too, the one that owns that casino in the white and black suit. That was cool. But yeah, I think that's all the Wolverines they showed, other than the Wolverine fighting the Hulk, which was the original Wolverine in the brown and yellow suit. So that was pretty cool to see him in that costume too. And obviously we got to see Logan Wolverine being used as a weapon to kill all of the agents of the Time of Variance Authority of the TVA. Dude, when he started, that whole action sequence is hilarious. Everybody was laughing while Deadpool's dancing to the music, and he takes like Logan's like leg bone, the bones on his leg, and just starts. He was like pulling like a Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he was bam, 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 just killing everybody. That was hilarious. And him talking to his skeleton. Damn, you seem really, really dead this time. But no, this movie was fucking phenomenal. This was one of, if not the best Marvel movies I've ever seen. Honestly, if I was to rate them, I would say to tie in first place, I've got to put Endgame and Deadpool and Wolverine tied at 1. Number 2, I'd have to put Infinity War. Number 3, Spider-Man No Way Home. Because that's honestly, that's like the best rating right there. Because I can't figure out which one I want to put at number 1. I can't. I love them both so much. I love Endgame, and I absolutely love this new movie too, Deadpool and Wolverine. And I absolutely loved Infinity War, but I didn't love it for the same reason I loved Endgame. Endgame made me happy as a Marvel fan. Infinity War set up that happiness, but it started with everything that I did love kind of dying. Half of the heroes died. Half the universe died. And Thanos won. You know what I mean? It was one of the coolest movies out of them all. But it left a bit of sorrow as a fan in my heart, knowing that, like, oh no, there might be a chance that all these heroes or some of these heroes stay dead. And it's true, they did. Black Widow stayed dead. Gamora from our Marvel universe, the 616 universe, stayed dead. But yeah, this movie, again, like I said, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, whatever you want to call it out of 10. Obviously, it's only 1 through 10, so I'm going to have to say it's a 10 out of 10. But if I could go higher, I would. This movie was perfect. Up there with number 1 with Endgame. This is up there. So you guys, if you've already seen it, awesome. If you are crazy enough to listen to the spoilers of the movie and you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing? Why are you even listening to me? You should have gone and seen the movie before you saw this, because it adds to so much more excitement when you don't know that the characters are going to be there. But yes, if you've not seen it and you're still watching at this point, please go see the movie and see it soon. This movie is definitely worth the money. It's worth however much money that you got to pay to see it. It's worth it. And if you've seen the movie, you know that, dude, this movie's got to be. It's the best Marvel. It's one of the best Marvel movies. This is just such a good fucking movie. God, it made me so excited and happy as a fan. I haven't been this excited and happy about Disney Marvel in so long, so many years. Oh, I'm so happy, dude. This is what I needed. This makes me so much more excited for whatever we have down the line. Because you know Marvel Disney's going to see the success from this movie and say, we need to continue with this. We need to branch off on some of this stuff. Let's see if we can go ahead and add on to the excitement and the hype of Deadpool and Wolverine. And hopefully they do, and they do it right, because it's true. If you go off of the chemistry of this movie, and you make other movies similar, you're gonna have 10 out of 10 movies, 9 out of 10 movies keep coming. But yeah, guys, this is my review of the movie. Spoiler free and spoil. This is my full review, and that's my rating. This is a 10 out of 10. Perfect Marvel movie. As always, guys, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. And as always, guys, I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.